All right, Rob. The big story in the NBA has not been basketball. It's been, surprise, surprise, Kyrie Irving. And Rob, you and I thought Kyrie's going to straighten up and fly right this year, right? Like, he's got to. And he embroiled himself in maybe his biggest controversy. And he posted on his social media about a book called From Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America. And it turns out, reportedly, I've not read the book. I'm familiar with the book, but I've not read it or seen the documentary that was made off of it. But apparently, at least according to reports, it had anti-Semitic information in there.
Right.
And that's where Kyrie has caught a lot of heat. And tonight, he released a statement. The Nets said they have been talking with the Anti-Defamation League. And Rob G, tell us about the statement that Kyrie and the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, released together.
Sure.
Tonight.
So all parties released their own individual statement as part of a joint statement. Here's what Kyrie said himself, quote, "I oppose all forms of hatred and oppression and stand strong with communities that are marginalized and impacted every day. I am aware of the negative impact of my post towards the Jewish community, and I take responsibility. I do not believe everything said in the documentary was true or reflects my morals and principles. I am a human being learning from all walks of life, and I intend to do so with an open mind and a willingness to listen. So for my family and I, we meant no harm to any one group, race, or religion of people, and wish to only be a beacon of truth and light." And as part of the joint statement, Kyrie and the Nets will each donate $500,000 to try to make things right.
Yeah, they had protesters, Chris, at the game, right? Some people had T-shirts or whatever they were wearing courtside.
2 nights ago,
right? Courtside.
Their game against Indiana, you had a group of young men with T-shirts that said "Fight Anti-Semitism." It was about 7 or 8 of them.
Yeah, but they were there and they were down low, court seats and
Kyrie said he thanked them for coming. He said, "I appreciate you guys," something to that effect.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised here. We know Charles Barkley went on TNT, Chris.
Well, you want to hear it?
Yeah, let's hear it. Because once Charles said this and, what was going on and pushed out there, I'm sure the league made a phone call, Chris, or, we need to do something to get this cleaned up. Well,
Charles said this, was it last night?
Last night, yeah.
Last night, yeah.
I think the NBA dropped the ball. I think he should have been suspended. I think Adam should have suspended him. First of all, Adam's Jewish. You can't take my $40 million and insult my religion. If you're going to insult me, you have the right, but I have the right to say, no, you're not going to take my $40 million and insult my religion. I think the NBA, they made a mistake.
Yeah, this is the slippery slope that we're in now. Because, and I remember when Roger Goodell, Chris, first took over the NFL, he was the new sheriff in town. He suspended people who didn't break any laws, The one that always bothered me was
Pac-Man Jones couldn't go to strip clubs.
Strip clubs, Chris. A strip club is a legal establishment, right? A legal, pays taxes. You don't have to like it, but it ain't illegal to go to a strip club.
Right.
The one that really bothered me was when they suspended Terrell Pryor for getting tattoos in college. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And he wasn't even an NFL player.
They did it more so, which I didn't agree with it either. But they did it more so because he saw, the rings or the jewelry or whatever trophies.
But he wasn't an NFL player.
I agree. Right. I'm just saying it wasn't because he got tattoos. It was because
but you know what I mean.
He traded in the paraphernalia for tattoos.
So I think, and then, again, I'm not supporting Donald Sterling, but Chris, he didn't break any laws.
Right.
He did not.
Mark Cuban said there was a slippery slope.
It is, and I'm being honest.
No, it is. It is.
Because I'm saying
he was off the record.
And it was taped by his side piece, right? Exactly. And then once people heard the tape, Chris, right, changed everything. Okay? But here, I think the best thing happened. And what I mean is the league didn't have to get involved. the Nets came together with Kyrie to put out this statement to just let his followers and his people who are Kyrie fans know exactly where he stands. Because, Chris, when you retweet stuff and you endorse stuff and people think, yo, Kyrie's down with this. Kyrie's he's on board with this anti-Semitism rhetoric or whatever it is.
Right.
So I think that's why it's important that it was with the Defamation League, Chris, being involved as well, so that you could put a rest to it and he can make his statement and say, hey, I don't believe everything that I see in these videos. I'm not I'm not for hate for any group of people or religion or whatever. And just make it clear so people understand where you're coming from. Because when you don't, acknowledge it, I'll give you another one that was a little different, Chris. Not at the same scale. But you remember Tom Brady got a little flack because he had that Trump hat in his locker. Do you remember that?
Right.
And people
It
are
wasn't
like,
close to the same.
No. But I'm just saying, people wanted to know, where do you stand? People were Tom, are you a Trump? Remember that? And his wife came out, no, we don't support Trump. It became like a thing. When you're a public figure and stuff comes out about you, people do want to know. So I'm glad the way it happened, without a suspension, without the league getting involved, Kyrie acknowledging that, no, I'm not down with that kind of stuff or whatever, with the anti-Semitism and the misinformation and everything that's on the video. So I think, Chris, it wound up being the best way that it could have. I'm happy with the way it turned.
Yeah, look, I don't think he needed to be suspended. I haven't believed for a moment that Kyrie was anti-Semitic. Here's what I think happened, Rob, and it's my opinion. I don't know for a fact. I don't think Kyrie read the book or saw the documentary, or at least not in their entireties. Okay. I think he was trying to promote Black history, African history, and didn't even know that anti-Semitic stuff was in there.
So, Chris, let me just stop you. According to Kyrie, he did read and watch
said it.
both.
Yeah, I saw him see it.
Okay.
I think he didn't want to be embarrassed.
Okay, I got you. So you're just saying, okay,
right.
Okay, I understand.
That's my opinion. I might be wrong.
I got you.
Because if you did watch it closely, then you saw the anti-Semitic stuff. And he didn't seem to have any idea of that. Like, and I haven't read it or seen it myself, but according to the reports, some of the anti-Semitic stuff is that they denied the Holocaust took place. You've heard that before, but that was apparently in the book. There was a quote, a fabricated quote, purportedly by Adolf Hitler.
Right, that's been around for a million years, Chris. Right,
but they said that Hitler acknowledged that the American Jews know that the real Jews are black Americans, and they're trying to keep it from the world because they won't be able to take over the world if the world finds out that they're not the real Jews. That was
and Adolf Hitler spelled wrong, correct?
Right. Adolf Hitler spelled wrong. So that's the type of stuff that was in the book, and I agree. I'm glad Kyrie came out and acknowledged he doesn't believe everything that was in there. I'm gonna be honest. I think he should have came out stronger.
Okay.
I think he should have came out and been like, "Look, I didn't know this stuff was in there. I denounce anti-Semitism 100%. I think he could have been stronger on that and got more specific about what he's denouncing. So I think he should have done that. But let me say this, Rob. I don't think, look, we're a pluralistic society, and that means people going to have different beliefs about religion. They're going to have different worldviews and all sorts of things. And I don't think people should be suspended or fired for their beliefs as long as they're not promoting violence against other people. We're not only going to have, Rob, differing beliefs, we may have competing beliefs.
Which is fine.
Right?
But you just said the big thing, and It's the anti-Semitism about a group of people, and that's where you get into. Even if Kanye, Chris, went off on some Jewish executive and said this guy is a bad
That's
guy,
one guy.
and he's done bad deals, and let me show you what he's done to me, and he screwed me out of money. You're fine. You're
one guy.
Right? One
Right.
guy. But when you put people in a box and it's everybody, this is where the issue comes in. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
So I hear what you're saying. It's not about having different opinions or being negative about certain individuals, but it doesn't matter what group of people. If somebody came up and was running for president or whatever, or the mayor of Los Angeles or whatever, and said, "Man, we got to get rid of this group X people. This is why LA." Of course. Right away.
Also, I don't think that Kyrie, at least I haven't seen, that he's caught flack for promoting that, talking about black Jews. Because there are black Jews. I actually talked to some about this book. They're PhDs in history. And one of them is a descendant of an African tribe that practiced Judaism. The Akan,
which
in
is
Ghana.
a religion for people who don't know.
Igbo in Nigeria all practice Judaism. The Beta Israel in Ethiopia, you remember them in the 80s who were airlifted into Israel. The Limba tribe in South Africa. All these are black Africans who practice Judaism and have for hundreds of years. And some of the Africans that came over during the slave trade were Jewish. Some. And what I disagree with, and I think this is what the book that Kyrie said promoted purports that all African Americans are the biblical Jews. I don't agree with that from history. That's not historically proven. But there are Jews of various races,
right?
And some of the slaves that came over during the slave trade were Jewish or Hebrew. And here's the last thing I want to say about this, Rob. Just because you can learn from a person or a book or a movie, documentary, whatever, and not agree with everything that person or that book or documentary teaches or believes. Like I learned a lot from Malcolm X from reading his books about him, books, just statements he made, quotes he made, watching videos of him. One of my favorite books is the autobiography of Malcolm X. But I don't agree with everything Malcolm taught and said. And so I can learn some things from him, but also reject some things from him.
Yeah, but here's go ahead. Let me say this. I hear what you're saying, and that's a valid point. But in today's social media, when you endorse or retweet, or people don't know that, Chris.
Right, but that's the problem. Everything in today's America is black and white.
And so
they're
shouldn't be. Right, but they're like, see, Kyrie's
nuance.
down with this. Kyrie's down with this. He believes in this.
And that's where we should have adult conversations, though, and allow for nuance. I get it. Everybody wants it to be black or white. You're this or you're that. And that's not the case. I read books from all sorts of people. I agree with some of them. I disagree with some of what they're saying. And you can't lump me into with this group because I read one of their books. And so I just think there's a lot of nuance in this conversation. And I'm glad that Kyrie came out. Hopefully we can move past this. But we'll see, Rob. Hopefully it's over, but who knows? We will see.
And this last thing, Kyrie, his career, Chris, because every time there's some owner going, can't do
Rob,
it.
I mean,
Can't do it.
I hope it's not the case.
But you know what I'm saying.
It's very
right?
possible this could be his last season. If they don't have a great year,
and he does right,
it's very possible. I hope it's not the case. But I mean, it's unbelievable how many
things he's in, right?
Yes,
It's every year. It's something else.
It's amazing, man. And
All right.
877-99 on Fox. Your thoughts on Kyrie?
Let's squeeze this in. Sean in Sacramento, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, buddy?
Yo, my uncle's from another mother. My brother's behind the board. Man, this guy, Kyrie, he needs to show the Jews as much respect as Rob has shown his pubic region, man.
Oh, God.
I mean, he is so mashugana with this. How are you just taking up all these causes? The flat earth, Black Jews, 9/11 isn't real. At this point, like, how does anybody take this man seriously? And he's wondering why he didn't get more than a 2-year extension from the Nets. Like, if you were really serious about getting your team back into place, back into a winning culture, you need to stop focusing on all these causes and get right. And I feel you, Chris. There needs to be an open dialogue, but Rob hit the nail on the head. You need to be more specific with who you're addressing,
yes.
what type of injustices you want to have addressed, and not just go off the rails every single time. It's just ridiculous, man. Y'all keep it real peasy, y'all.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate
right.
the call. Yep. Josh in Arizona, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What up, Josh?
What's going on, family? I appreciate y'all taking my call today.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Okay, first thing I want to say, I appreciate y'all brothers, how y'all handling the Kyrie situation and not dragging them through the mud like the rest of the sports pundits and world out there. And if all those things are in the book as y'all say they are, Kyrie was wrong, and I'm glad that he decided to try to make that thing right. He shouldn't have been suspended or anything like that, so that's good. But I also want to point out the hypocrisy in some of this. You know, oftentimes the NBA and a lot of the same people that's talking bad about Kyrie will promote rappers and different ones that do nothing but promote themselves, gang violence and RN gangs and different things of that nature, demeaning women, stuff like that. They have no problem putting them on TV and doing all this. And I don't even want to get into the China stuff, but it's just a lot of hypocrisy that's going on, and I don't see nobody, turning heads.
Yeah, and I hear you, and a lot of it
I
just
agree
because.
with you.
Yeah, I don't totally agree with you because there is art, and whether you agree
Jews
with it or
allow
not,
that in art?
No, I'm just Chris.
They
I'm
don't,
just saying.
Rob. They don't be that like that's art. They shut it down.
But this is still art, and people have a right whether you want to hear it or not.
When Jews do that, do you? They don't play that. Nobody plays that with Jews. Nobody says, "Oh, it's art. Relax, it's art."
Yeah,
and they don't have art that's promoting killing them.
Yeah, but this is
why
is
do we allow it, but the Jews don't allow it?
Because these are black people who obviously like the music.
There were black people that participated in the slave trade too.
We understand that.
Should we have allowed that?
No, but I don't know who is going. The issue I have is who is going to dictate what I want to hear, or what you decide is good enough for me to hear.
Jews
or
say
what?
You can't
I'm
hear
asking
it, you. Don't hear it.
I'm asking you. Who is to decide what I should be able to hear
earlier,
or not? When I don't want to, I don't buy it, or I don't listen to it.
Earlier, that as long as you're not promoting violence against people, you can have your beliefs. A lot of the music this brother's talking about is promoting violence against black people.
Chris, how many movies have you seen about the mob and Italians, and that they're all mobsters and all gangsters, and they kill people and that's a part of.
You asked me a question, I'm gonna answer you.
Yeah,
finish your
you don't
question.
see it?
That's it.
Yeah.
When we watch a movie, we know it's Hollywood. When I see Sylvester Stallone, I don't expect him to be Rocky. I don't expect him to be Rambo. When we hear hip hop, the mantra in hip hop is keep it real. If they find out you not what you purport to be in your music, it's like, oh, you done, you fake, you phony. So that's part of it. People believe these rappers are real about this. And it's hurting us, man.